Hey, this is Dwayne Smith at AthensTennis.com. Welcome back. This is doubles 103. If you haven't watched 101 and 102 yet, I recommend that you do that first. All right, what we've been talking about is a couple of ideas and strategies in doubles, and we're going to take that farther today. One of the main ideas we want to talk about in doubles, and we've mentioned this, is it's a lot different than singles. You really have to understand positions, location, strategies a lot more in doubles than you do in singles. And one of the other things I'll try to impress upon you in the first couple of videos is to try to get to the net when you can. That's really where offense is. That's where the winners are hit. You're sort of in control of the match when you're at the net. So that's your, opportunity to get there. You need to try to. Now, I know some people are gun shy. They don't like the net. They don't feel comfortable up there. But if you're going to become a better doubles player over time, you really need to work on your doubles game. Try to get to the net a few times more the next match, and continue so you can hopefully become a better doubles player in the future. All right, today we're going to talk about three strategies in particular, and I'm going to use the overhead again like I did before. So bear with me just a minute and we will get that set up. Okay, let's talk about the first strategy that we want to talk about, which is called switching. And most people are familiar with switching in doubles. They know that if you're set up in a one-up, one-back formation like this one, and if this ball gets lobbed over the net person's head, most people are aware as that ball gets lobbed over, obviously, this person is coming over to retrieve it and return it, and this person switches. But a lot of people don't know where to switch. They just kind of go like that. Now, that's a problem usually. The reason why is this person's in a bad situation. They've had to move. They're hitting a ball that's bouncing high. For most people, that's going to be a backhand because most players tend to be righties. So they're probably not going to hit a very offensive shot back at all. Matter of fact, they're just hoping to get the ball back into play. It's going to be a very defensive shot. That leaves this guy coming in looking for a weak return, maybe hitting an overhead or something like that. And this guy's in real trouble. So what this person really needs to do when they do that switch, they need to probably switch back and at least get a little beyond the service line. That gives them more time to see that shot coming. Now, if this player were smart, he or she really should have followed it in. They should have sort of taken over the net with that good lob. And if that's the case and it looks like a lob's coming back, the farther you can get back, the better. So if you can get back to here or possibly even in the baseline, depending on how much time you have, how high the ball's hit. But the main thing I'm trying to point out here is it's not just you want to switch over when that ball gets hit, because just switching over leaves you in a very vulnerable position here. Remember, your partner's probably going to hit a weak ball and you don't want to be close to the net and get killed by it. You need to be farther back so you can play better defense, possibly reflex that ball back or whatever. And if you see both of them coming in, and they really should if they were smart, then you have time. You want to retreat back even deeper if you can, right? So make sure when you switch, you don't just switch directly across. You also move back when you switch, at least to the service line, possibly even further depending on the situation. Okay, the next concept I want to talk about is the idea of playing lots of balls down the middle in doubles. Good things happen when you hit a ball down the middle. The first thing that happens is you tend to bunch the players together. So if I hit a ball down the middle, both of these players tend to react and move towards it. And sometimes there's confusion as to who's going to hit it. We've all done that before. But what that does is it really sets up the angle for the next shot. So when they hit that shot back, you can now angle that ball off potentially to the side, since you've sort of clumped them together, right? Remember also, as you hit that ball down the middle, you're going over the lowest part of the net, which is to your advantage, and you really can't hit a ball wide down the middle. You can hit it long, but you can't hit it wide, so it's a much, much safer shot. Now, the people on the baseline could and should potentially do the same thing. If they, hit a ball out here, chances are this player shifts over and hits a real good angle for a winner, right? But if they hit a ball down the middle, the same sort of thing applies. It's a lot harder to do much with that ball. So you'll hear it said a lot in doubles: pound the middle, play the middle, cover the middle solves the riddle. There's lots of ideas behind that, but what we're basically saying is it's a safe shot. Now, once you have an offensive shot and you think you can angle it away, you do want to do that. But if you have a defensive shot or sometimes even a neutral shot, putting the ball back down the middle in doubles is a good thing, right? Even if this player is up, you still would want to, if you're in a volley exchange here, if you get a high ball that you can put away, yeah, go at the player, go at an angle. But if not, always going back down the middle is a good thing to do usually, to hit the ball down the middle and also cover the middle, right? So again, think middle in doubles. Unless you have a clear winner, then you can go for an angle or a winner. Okay, the third thing I want to talk about is this idea, and I hear this a lot, especially in ladies tennis, and especially at some of the levels like 3.0 and 3.5 is, I know in doubles I'm supposed to come up. I know I'm supposed to come to the net. But when me and my partner come to the net and we're both up front, then they inevitably lob over our heads and we can't handle it. So it really doesn't seem to be a strategy that works for me. Well, if you're playing players that lob a lot, and there's, teams and players that do, what you're going to have to do is make sure you don't get so tight on the net. You want to kind of step back a step or so inside the service line. Then when they hit that lob up, you're much closer to it and have a much better chance to hit an overhead there. If you are hitting a deep overhead, anytime the overheads get pretty deep, it's always easier to put that ball back down the middle. This is a hard one to angle and hit for a winner. If you get a short overhead, that's the one that you want to angle off for a winner. But again, if they're hitting fairly deep lobs and lobbing you a lot, you don't want to go to the normal volleying position, which would be near the center of the service box. These players lob a lot. You've played them before. They've already hit some winning lobs on you. You want to step back several steps there so you can cover that. If you get a deep lob, again, that you're hitting out of the air, you probably want to go back down the middle. If they make a mistake and give you a shorter lob, that would be one you could probably angle off. So don't be scared to come to the net because you think they're going to lob you. They might hit some winning lobs on you, but you need to kind of just back up and sort of adjust to that strategy of theirs. Dwayne Smith, AthensTennis.com. See you next time.